Hi, and welcome to Gloria's show, Spirits, Mediums, and Things That Go Bump in the Night. Gloria's cat became very ill, so she could not do her show today. But she has a guest here that I just met a few minutes ago. Hi, Carolyn.
Hello.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And you are involved in the paranormal. You're involved in, you have a team.
I do have a team, EVP Paranormal of Maine.
Okay. And this whole thing is off the cuff. We've never met before, so I hope you enjoy the show. So tell us a little bit how you got into this.
Well, like I said, if you would have asked me 4 years ago that I'd be on a paranormal team, I wouldn't have believed it myself. But I did have a friend that sent me a name that she saw on the side of a car, and I joined this team, and it was a little bit further out than for traveling. So I started a local team with my friend Beverly, and it's called EVP Paranormal of Maine, and our logo is Paranormal is Our Normal. So we just kind of started it, and we're 4 years into it. And
wow.
Yeah, and I still learn new things every day.
Wow.
Yes.
So just so the audience knows, before you got into this, give us a little bit of where you come from, the background you have. I mean, what you told me before the show.
Right. I went to school for criminal justice. I ended up getting married and ran a restaurant for 26 years. We just sold it. I'm also a CASA volunteer, which is a guardian ad litem for foster children.
Okay.
I make sure that the kids only go back to the families, of course, if the parents are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And we deal in the court situation. So that's what I do.
So you hear this, audience. I mean, this is a woman who 4 years ago never thought she would be doing this.
Right.
And the background, you're skeptical.
I was a definite skeptic.
Definite.
Right.
There would have been no way 4 years ago anybody could have told you you'd be doing this.
Right.
So now, take us the next step. You joined the team.
I joined the team. I go on my first investigation. I have a handheld recorder, and I think I had a camera. And I was so excited to hear my first EVP, which is called electronic voice phenomenon, that you catch, you're just kind of asking questions, and you hope to get a response.
Right.
And we are 3 women on the team. So when I went, and we were the only ones in the house. It was a house that was built in 1710. And when I went home and I started listening to it, I just could not believe what I was hearing.
Really?
First of all, I was hearing a man. I heard a man right away, and it was like, there's no men with us. We heard an Indian woman speak, and we had to actually ask someone what it meant. And I got like 26 good EVPs that people could really hear.
Oh, amazing.
I know, and I was shocked because like when you watch Ghost Hunters and stuff, you only...
Which I do.
Yeah, and I do too, that you only get like a couple at the end. And I'm sure they get more, but maybe they're not as audible for the person to understand.
Right, exactly. So this was your very first kind of encounter.
Correct.
You go in, you've got your camera, you've got your EVP, and you get that many hits on your EVP.
Right. We've been to this place 4 times since, and it never lets us down. It's incredible.
So could you hear it while this was going on, or was it not until you listened to the tape?
I never heard with my own ears till a couple investigations later, and me and another investigator heard, I think whoever was there thought we were leaving, and so we said, oh, let's go down into the basement, and we got a big, and we were like, wow, did you hear that? Kind of like they thought we were going to leave, and now we're still lingering there. And we were like, wow, we heard that with our own ears. And now, when I hear now I listen closer. So we actually hear with our own ears. I mean, but they're mostly like sound like little whispers in the background.
Now, when you walked out, I mean, for example, on Ghost Hunters, it's dark. It's completely dark.
Correct.
It's just the light from the camera. Is that the same thing that you have?
Oh yeah, we use the lights like this on
Okay.
our heads. It doesn't look really,
Okay.
you don't look really cute, that's for sure. And then we also use an infrared light that I have right here. So,
Okay, let me hold this up.
right, so that's a light, so just like a flashlight. We wear it
Okay.
I wear it on my head if it's gonna be really dark, if I go outside. And then I use an infrared light. So if I take pictures, I like having a little bit of light on because I can take better pictures with a little bit of light, but
Sure.
that light's too bright.
Yeah, I mean, this is around your head then.
Yep, actually made a hat so I can wear both of them at the same time and just kind of click them.
Okay.
Right.
So now, I mean, you have this, and so you're in a room, it's dark, but you have these on.
Yes.
Okay, so that does give you a little bit of light.
Correct. Like, especially for stairs, you know, and
Yeah.
you don't know what's really, you're not familiar with the house. You don't want to trip over anything. And
So this house you had walked into, how old was the house? Would you say?
it was in the one that we get the most was 1710.
Wow.
Right.
Here in Maine.
Here in Maine, in Buxton, Maine.
Okay.
Yep.
So 1710. Are people living in the house or?
It's actually a business, so we can't name the business.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So apparently they called you because they were having a little paranormal activity.
She would hear knocking, and there was someone that walked in with their child, and the child kept saying, "Hey, can I go play with Johnny?" And they were like, "Who?" And there's no Johnny there.
Yeah.
And she said, "The little boy that lives upstairs." So that's
Wow.
kind of
Well,
what.
kids are
right.
very open.
Right. So then this business owner, through, you know, however it happens, got in touch with us, and we went over, and we've had we bring some sensitives, some mediums with us, and they actually, not knowing, said that they could see a little boy in like pajamas.
Oh,
So that was kind of cool to kind of get a verification.
right. Right. Exactly.
Right. So, and we're going to do a sleepover there, hopefully soon.
Oh, that'll be. I did a
Right.
sleepover.
With no sleep.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't really
Right,
sleep.
right.
No, I did a sleepover. Are you familiar with Wood Island Lighthouse?
No, but we're going to that. We're going to do that.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
good. I want to be there because maybe 4 years ago they had a paranormal team come in, and two mediums, and it was Saturday night. Whoever wanted to go dropped us off at Wood Island.
Right.
They left till the following morning, so we were there,
Right.
and there was a lot of activity.
Oh, yeah, I've heard so much about that. I can't wait to go there.
Sherry Poftek, who works with Wood Island Lighthouse, and Brad Coop. We were up at the top of the lighthouse, you know, where the light goes around.
Right.
And we're standing there with our eyes closed because that light coming around is bright.
Right.
And all Sherry said was, "My hand is being pulled right now." And no one really slept. And there were probably 8 of us and 2 mediums in the paranormal team. And towards 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they took a glass upside down, everybody put their finger on it, and that glass went crazy. It just went crazy. And of course, they kept going to Sherry because she does a lot of work out there.
Right.
And a lot of ship captains have been stranded on the island, and years ago, the Indians. So there was a ton of paranormal activity going on. So I'm thrilled to know you're going to go out
Oh,
there.
yes, I can't wait. And we actually have an investigator. Every time we go, she gets her hair pulled.
Yeah.
It's like we call her she's almost the protector of the group. Something's going to happen. It seems like it happens to her.
Okay.
Because she's not afraid. And
Well, you can't be afraid.
right, you cannot be afraid.
I mean, you're asking for communication.
Right.
And some of these shows that are on television, you know, once they ask for the communication,
Right.
they get it, they're screaming.
I know. Yeah, every time we go back to this house, it's louder and louder and louder every time.
Yeah. And I mean, I think to myself, these guys are asking for communication. Why are they yelling?
Right. I know.
You're getting what you asked for.
Correct.
So what other houses have you investigated?
We go to a lot of homes that they feel like there's something there, and they don't want to be afraid. So
No.
they want to make sure that it's something that's not to be afraid of. There was one that I didn't go on because I feel like everyone that's meant to be at some place goes, but there was a home that there was a Ouija board. They played like heavy metal music. Not that, I don't know anything about it, but and the girl was pregnant and she was really afraid. And when the investigators walked into the house, there was a Ouija board like on the wall, like a framed picture. And right away they kind of knew that there was something. So they actually went and, because we can get people to go to the house that if we can't take care of something, we'll get the proper, people, the professionals that can do something. And we actually got this man named Ahura from Unicorn Cove, and he actually does like exorcisms, and he'll go in and like really cleanse the house. And he'd be a great guest. He's awesome.
Wonderful. Now, since you've gotten involved in this, and you're into your 4th year, right?
Right.
Have you noticed within yourself a change?
Yes. I was more inside the box on this super schedule of like kids and stuff. Now my kids are in college. So I feel like time goes by really fast. Like I don't have enough hours in the day. I see things a little bit differently. I don't look at everything as seriously as I used to. Mm-hmm. I enjoy things more. Mm-hmm. I enjoy the outside more. Okay. I see things, I appreciate, I have a hard time killing bugs now. Every time I go by a squirrel or something that's died in the road, I'm like doing a prayer. I pray more. That's a big thing. I pray more. I pray a lot.
So inside, there's been a
big change.
Mentally, say for example, if you're out in a crowd, you're in a restaurant.
That too. I have a hard time. We used to go shopping at the mall, and now I can't even go into the mall because I feel like I can feel everyone's energy, and a lot of it's sad. So there's a lot of sad energy, so I get really anxious and have to, like I have 20 minutes to be in the mall. And before I could be in the mall for hours. I was kind of like in the earthly world. I feel like I'm in this like middle area now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't see material stuff as the same anymore.
No, of course not. Mm-hmm. I can understand that. And now that you're kind of involved in this, how does your husband, your children feel?
My children did not want to, I would get these great EVPs. We got this one that we walked in, and it was just like that Poltergeist movie. You walked in the house and we hear, "They're here." And that's the spirit world saying that. So that was really cool. So when I went to go show my kids, when I first started this, they were like, "Mom, this is really scary. We don't want to listen to this." And I was like, "You're watching all these shows that people getting killed and hacked with a knife and shot to death." And it's like, those shows that they watch on Netflix. Sure. And I said, "And you can't listen to a sentence it's not like a scary sentence," and they didn't want anything to do with it. Now it's been 4 years later, they humor me, and I get them to pray more. I think they pray more. I'm always telling them to pray more. Be kind and nice and pray more. So. What
about your husband?
My husband, I used to force him to watch Ghost Hunters with me.
Yeah.
So he would always kind of make fun of it because they'd be like, "Oh, listen over there." He'd always kind of make fun of the show. But now he kind of, like I show him some photos or he listens better. He doesn't put it down, that's for sure.
That's good.
Right.
That's very good. Because, you have samples, examples of things that you've heard.
Right. I think what's good is that since I'm so far out of the box now, I'm kind of glad we have to have a balance.
Yeah,
we both can't be out there a little bit.
True, you do have to have a balance.
He's grounded, and I'm just like tethered to the ground, basically, but I'm still outside the box.
Now, let me ask you personally now, do you look at things in a different way? Say if you're going to go see a relative, or if you're going to do your normal day things. You just said you don't take things so serious, mm-hmm. and you're very empathic. I can tell that. But when you're dealing with relatives, people who've known you since you were little on, mm-hmm. do you feel or do you communicate differently with them?
I do, because I feel like when you get into this outside of the box world a little bit, because I used to be more of a skeptic, is that you see truth beyond, like you see the truth. Like you almost know when someone's lying and someone's telling the truth. So I just tell I just try to, I don't have any more, like we don't have stupid fights anymore, like, family fights and stuff. I just kind of stay away from that. But they believe what I say. My parents know me, so. I know this is terrible. My parents are getting older, so I'm always like, so Mom, what's your favorite song? Like, what are you going to send me for a message? I mean, you don't get to ask that because people don't think of it, but I get to ask it because
You thought of it?
I thought of it like, are you going to send me a feather? Are you going to send me a penny? What are you going to send me?
Yeah.
And of course, my mother's like, I'm not dead yet, so she laughs, but
Yeah.
I do really kind of want to see if she could send me something.
Well, of course, anyone we love, we want some kind of a message,
Right.
I mean, I'm always one that's very careful about what I call wishful thinking and what's really happening.
Right,
I really have to work hard to go and divide the two,
right,
because what I want for communication, am I really hearing it, or do I want to hear it?
right.
See, that's the line that's a difficult line. Do you find that?
Well, I think I'm so on a different thing now. I'm all about synchronicity. Everything
Yeah.
is just synchronicity, and I'm following it, and I can tell when I'm getting off of it. Like, I don't know if you ever see the numbers like 333 or 444 or 777. I'm like seeing those everywhere, to the point of where I started taking pictures of it. So I'm just always, I don't follow, like, I'm not on anyone's routine. I'm just kind of going with the flow. And I'm telling you, I was in the box like super structured, and now I'm going with the flow. I never would have gone with the flow 4 years ago.
It feels good, though, to have that freedom.
It does. It feels good. Though, I mean, I could do this like it's my job, but it doesn't pay well.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't. I mean, you do this because you love it. You do it because you do believe.
Right.
And I mean, there's so many skeptics out there. And, there is no way we will ever convince them.
Right.
Because they don't want to be convinced. But the people who sit on the fence, borderline, they want to see proof because they're going to come over the fence.
I know. And I think that they're actually trying to give us proof. I think they're actually talking to you all day long, but we're missing it. So if we're not open to it, when we're open to it, we can see it more.
Right.
But because they're not open to it, they don't see it at all.
They don't see it.
They don't even see it like, oh, that's just a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence.
No.
Even me being here is
It's
very
not
odd.
no,
Right.
no, because
Right.
we've never met before.
Right, correct.
And I believe the same way. Things happen for a reason from this morning, from the time I got up and what I was thinking and what I was asking for, and here we are now.
Right,
Gloria's cat became ill. It was meant for you and I to get together.
right.
So let's talk about all our equipment we have here,
Yes.
which is quite a bit. Now, we spoke about these, the headlights.
Right. That's for like most safety.
Yeah.
And that's for just taking pictures with it has a red light. It's a softer light, so I can take pictures. Like if you see orbs, though, I know like a lot of orbs are dust and stuff, but sometimes, we can catch something.
Well, now, describe to the audience, what is an orb?
Well, an orb is like an energy, they say, of like the spirit world. If they're going to show themselves, they can kind of look like an orb. Though we haven't really, I got some good ones in Gettysburg, but no one ever really believes the orb. So we stay away from the orb. We stay completely away from it because it could be a moisture in the air. It could be dust. It has to be pretty spectacular you have to almost see it with your eyes. And I actually have seen one with my eyes. We were selling our restaurant, we were cleaning it out, and I walked to go get my bag to leave, and I was with a friend that was helping me clean, and it was just like a baseball bat. It just like zoomed right over our head, and I looked at her and she's like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad she saw it too."
Yeah.
And then we went into the bar area of the restaurant, and I took some pictures, and I caught it moving around. I actually have those pictures too.
Okay.
But what was interesting is that I had seen Gloria one time in a group session, and one girl happened to ask if her father was an alcoholic, and she wanted to know if he went to heaven or he went to the bar, because Gloria says sometimes when you have like a disease like alcoholism, you might not go to the light, you might go to the bar.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because I
Spirits.
caught the orb in the
Yeah.
bar, so so who knows what's in there, but it was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, she's a great one for saying, you know, don't have a drink before you have a reading
Right.
because it opens the door to spirits.
Right. And
And
might not be the right spirits.
Yeah.
You might not be the good spirits because we do a cleansing prayer before we go in, you know, for light and love, and then we do a cleansing prayer before we leave too. So, and we ask that they don't follow us, but that doesn't really guarantee anything. The salt we use to.
yeah, I was going to ask you about the salt now.
The salts of the earth, and they don't. We kind of go around a house. If we feel nervous about something, we'll kind of do the doorways, and hope that they don't cross over. They don't like the salt. They keep away from the spirits, bad spirits especially, keep away from the salt, so they don't cross over the threshold. But that
Okay.
is not a guarantee, I have to say.
All right.
Because we've actually had some spirit attachments on. We've actually heard the same EVP of a person, a man, in one house, and we've heard it in another house, the same EVP. So we know that it's either attached to one of us or that it's following us. We don't really know, but we do cleansings all the time. We do, I didn't bring it, but we sage ourselves,
Yeah.
and we let the smoke kind of go up and notice it on the body. So if the sage smoke kind of goes around, we assume that there could be like an attachment maybe on us.
All right.
And I know that doesn't make sense because I didn't even know what attachment was. But then again, I did take these pictures of attachments that were on me because I can't really show people that I saw on other people. But those are pretty cool attachments.
Okay, so what order would you like to go in?
Well, this is the attachment that I saw, and this was at Oxford Casino. And this is actually on my hair. So if you can see the face, that is,
Okay.
and if you think of an orb that flies around,
Yeah.
they're really, really tiny. So I just happened to be taking a picture with my daughter, and we were at Oxford Casino, which is considered like a, you know, like if you're not going to go to the light, maybe you want to go to the casino or the bar.
Right, exactly.
So I took that picture, and it was on my bangs. So literally, it's just right on the bangs of my hair. So it was just kind of like right here. And there's actually a face above it too, but
Okay.
that's the best face.
Okay, here's another one.
Right. So that, and then there's actually a face here too, but this is the one that was the most prominent because you see the ears and the jaw. So, but I thought that was kind of like, and I made sure I did like a cleansing after, you know, that make sure that he's either off of me or gone.
Okay.
And I don't, you know, sometimes you think that maybe their thoughts, like
Right.
they attach, that they try to give you their thoughts, but if I know something's not really of mine, I just kind of like swat it away. So, and then this is the cool one because this is the picture of a man. And
Okay.
so that's his eyes right here, and that's his nose. And he's very like hollowed out, doesn't look very healthy. And I was actually sitting near my friend, but she didn't know I did this because I wasn't going to show her these pictures because, you know, you don't know what they believe or
Yeah.
not. So I happened to show her just that picture, and she said that looks like her father that had just passed away
Wow.
within the year. And I said, I never met her father, so I didn't know. And it was interesting because she was actually standing right here next to me, so it could have been her father. And he's actually attached
Okay.
to,
So this is,
he's like right here attached to me.
all right, so that was his way of remaining close to his daughter, probably?
Right, and he might just be on me because she right there. Maybe she's not. I don't. To be honest, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
I just noticed. I started noticing him on people. It's not something that we do while we're during an investigation. But I do like to take pictures of our group to make sure that there's not attachments.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, because, I mean, attachments, I think people have a problem with really thinking that that can happen, but it can
right,
happen.
right. They might be looking for a way out, or I don't know. I'm not. Like I said, I should have started at ABC, but I feel like I've jumped to, you know, PQR. I really need to know more. I need to start. I got to go backwards.
Well,
And
yeah,
I've kind of started in the middle, so I'm trying to find my way of how to go back to kind of understand all of this stuff.
well, I think you're a very intelligent woman and that you jumped in where you needed to jump in. I understand having to go back and get the groundwork
Right.
to see what leads up to where you're at. I get that. I would agree. But you jumped right in where I think you were needed.
Right. I think I mean, I think they're around all of us all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think that when we die, I think that it's literally your breath, your next breath is into the next world. You take your last breath here and your first breath there. It's like,
Yeah.
that's how quick it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a lot of pain, which I feel a lot better about death now. I used to be really nervous.
Yeah.
But now I'm not afraid because I know that I read a lot. I follow Swedenborg. I don't know if you ever read Emmanuel Swedenborg. I follow a lot of his like theology, and I just know that it's okay to go over. I just think we need to be good people here. We're laying our groundwork here.
Yeah.
And we need to be kind and pray a lot and be nice and help others.
Now, have you been with a family member who has crossed over?
I think my grandmother's the one that kind of guided me this way, and she's crossed over.
Okay. So the fact that she kind of, I mean, what was she like? Was she...
Well, she actually went to go tell me that we were younger, but she's really Catholic. So saying that, but she never said it. She was just about to say that she had like something that she wanted to tell us that she could do, but she didn't tell us. And then I asked another cousin, because she was younger, so maybe she had told her, and she said that she knew when someone was going to pass away. But she would have a dream or a thought or a vision, and they would end up passing away. So she knew when people were going to die.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
She lived to 104.
Oh,
and she had all her marbles. She's from Biddeford, so she was.
That's great.
Yeah. So.
Now, here, let's go over some more of the equipment.
That's my camcorder.
This is your, okay.
And
now
and that has an infrared light on it too. The battery's probably dead.
That's okay, but I want to show it.
Right, I love having that when I catch an EVP because at least you get to see where we are in the house.
Yeah.
And then if we hear it on multiple things, we can kind of coincide it with the camcorder. I love using the camcorder. The thing is that when there are spirits around, they drain our batteries really quick.
Yeah.
I carry around a bucket of batteries, and they seem to drain just for the moment. Then we go home and then we can use them again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. And then my camera for just still shots.
That's a great little camera.
I'll just take pictures, randomly just take pictures around, especially just to know where we are in the house in each room.
That's great. I just want to show this on camera so Steve can show the audience. So you have your camera, your camcorder.
Right, and then this is the thermometer. So a lot of, I'm so busy with gadgets, I'm literally strapped down with gadgets, so sometimes I don't feel like I'm in tune to the room, but there'll be other people that are just kind of, they don't have anything in their hands, so they'll say, oh my gosh, I'm feeling really cold right now. So I'll have that around my neck, and it's like I'll know the temperature before, and then I'll kind of point the thermometer at them and see if it drops down.
Okay.
And that kind of, when they start to say, I feel really cold on my arm, that's usually an inclination that maybe a spirit is coming in or something. So.
Okay. Well,
this is just all, this is what we're learning. We're not sure if a spirit's coming in, but we just try to.
Well, they always say it gets cold, like it's 78.4.
Right.
So it's warm here.
Right. It's warm in here.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if you felt like you were really cold, I could just point at you, and if it drops to like 72, you'd be like, okay, there's something different.
Well, it just dropped to 74 now.
Well, there you go.
There you go. No, it really did. Okay. Wait, it just went off. I want to put it on because it dropped before. It's a 70 now.
Wow.
Really, audience. It's dropping. So whatever's...
Right.
Wow, okay.
And then this is my new gadget, which is the spirit box. I love this because I'm going to send you a video that we caught some really great stuff. So this is a spirit box.
Okay.
And what it does is instead of playing, it's like a radio, but instead of playing radio frequency, it plays the static channels. And it just kind of, makes that, I can turn it on for a second.
Yeah, please turn it on.
And let's see.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be on. It's going to be loud, so.
Okay, it's going to be loud, everybody, so get ready.
So we'll ask questions and we'll get answers. And I'll send you a video and you'll hear some of the answers we get. It's pretty cool.
Okay, is somebody here in the studio? Is there a spirit around us? Oh, my.
Man's voice. Looked like it said, oh, no.
Is there a spirit here? Okay.
You can ask what their name is.
Oh, I could. What is your name? Do you have a name? Not going to tell us.
Yeah,
I talk,
it's
you
like
talk.
30 seconds, like sometimes like 30 seconds to talk.
Okay, could you repeat that, please? Huh, I heard something.
I sound like, help me.
I know. Wow.
We actually do,
Wow.
we actually get a lot of help me's, though we don't run into cleanse of house just because we get a help me, because you don't know if they're saying help me lug this chair or help me get
yeah.
up the stairs or help me. So we don't consider every help me as a need for a cleansing
Well,
of the
that's
house.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
We've done some cleansings. We did a cleansing at the house that we go to quite a bit, but if they want to go, they go. Because it's their free will to go.
Okay. Well, now what's this?
That's another, this is very similar to this. They're both electronic, they pick up the electromagnetic field, and we always kind of think that a spirit's on a different like vibration,
Yeah.
so they give off a different energy. So this is so we'll ask, I just got this never worked. This hasn't worked yet. I've only had it for a couple investigations, though I try every time to get it. We have a REM pod. I don't have it here because it's another member's toy.
Okay.
And that REM pod just goes off. It's awesome. But this I always say, like, if you're here, because they have to go on the sides of it, so like do yes or no, but I would just be happy if it just went off by itself.
Yeah, so this.
They're just toys to try to see if they're around us, basically.
All right, so is there a spirit around us?
And see, and what thing is that it's hard is that they have to go on the sides, like for like this. So it's a little bit trickier than the most.
Trickier.
I just thought it was going to be super easy. Like, how easy can you get? Yes, no, and it hasn't worked yet.
All right.
And then we do a lot with flashlights. We'll have 2 flashlights, and we'll do like the yes, no, too. And I actually have a video for that has lit up, answered our questions.
Ghost Hunter uses that a lot.
Yes. And that's pretty
They
cool,
do.
especially when they answer the question. If it's we only had one at the time, and it only went off when we said, "Are you a little girl?" It went off.
Yeah.
And when we ask another question.
I mean, this is just
very simple tool.
It's heavy too.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
it's
have to
not
turn,
light.
and they have to turn the end, so it's pretty difficult. They have to
It's
use a
difficult.
lot of energy.
Well, this is why I turned the end here.
Right.
Because it takes a lot of effort.
It does. And I had to oil it down because it was so stiff at one point.
Yeah.
Just put like a little vegetable oil around it, just so, I was having a hard time turning it on. But we did get some great video of that working.
Wonderful.
And I just ordered some new gadgets too. I have a teddy bear that's supposed to, that's where I spend my money now, is like on this stuff. That's what I ask for Christmas is the gadgets.
Of course. Now this red here.
That's so I can turn it, when we go to a reveal, which would be considered, we go to the person's house and we try to tell them, this is what we heard.
Yeah.
Because, they're usually very low. I'll turn it up. This is the best.
It's like a speaker.
It's the highest volume one I could find. And so we let them hear it, and then they can hear the reply, the answer that they gave us.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
We also do a lot of background on the house, make sure that, like we can see where the land is, if there were cemeteries. Because believe it or not, the house that we go to, we get the most stuff. They moved a cemetery from one location to the next.
That's been done, yeah.
I can't believe they do that. That's crazy.
I know. There's a show, and I'm sure you've watched it too, Haunted Collector.
Yes.
Okay, Haunted Collector, it's whatever's under the house. There's
Right.
some kind of an item left.
Right.
Cemetery, whatever it may be.
Those things kind of scare me a little bit. That's the thing that I don't like to, when an item is haunted.
Yeah.
That's the thing that, I don't want to say scary, but it's like, because people antique shop all the time.
Yeah.
So they're actually bringing in something, putting it in their house, and bringing that spirit into their house. that's what makes me a little bit,
Well, that makes me nervous too.
Right.
I do have a friend who
Right.
does collect antiques, and I always tell her, sage everything before
right,
you bring it
sage it.
in.
I say leave it out and let the sun hit it. Let the energy, like good light and good intention, hit that for 24 hours before you bring it into your house.
Yeah.
And really, like, I mean, say a prayer over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that absolutely makes sense because I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they always say people are full of energy. And so whatever you touch, whatever you hold, you're holding energy
Right.
in it.
Right.
Now, you have here on the computer an EVP, right?
I do.
Let's let the
hear it?
audience. Can we hold the computer up here so the audience can see?
Yeah, I'm just going to get it to the point where you,
Okay.
let's see, where you can hear, because I make little videos and I put them on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oops,
All right.
don't want that. Okay, so this is a conversation between, I believe it's a mother and daughter spirit.
Okay. Wow.
Let's say it one more time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the conversation.
So that was a house that we did in, I think it was Standish, and that was a really old house. I know that was built in the 1800s, and it's the daughter says, "Mom, where'd all those people go?" We were on like we say, 5-minute break. Really, it's just going like a bathroom break, and I left my recorder up in the upstairs bedroom, and so she says, "Mom, where'd all those people go?" And then the mother says, "I don't know," and she says, just as we were about to start with prayer. So I thought that was
Okay.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That it's like, it was really, I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And it was my recorder, so, and I had just started, so my recorder is fresh. It doesn't have any connections. I didn't even know how to download it to my computer at that time, so.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
It was pretty
amazing
cool.
what you can get. You know, because people crossing over and wanting to come back or give messages or do any of that, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's a lot of skeptics.
There is.
But when you hear something like this, knowing you are, no fool around,
Oh, right,
you're very straight,
Right.
You call it as you see it,
Right.
let's say.
I mean, I didn't even know how to do technology, so I wouldn't know how to fake this if I wanted to. I
Right.
mean, I didn't even know how to get it off my recorder, to put it. I had to learn all these things as we went. So when I heard that, I just couldn't believe it.
That's great.
Yeah, that's one of our best ones. There's some other ones that we get because we wonder why do they stay in the house, but I don't know if it's an imprint of them or if it's a residual energy, which is just repeating itself constantly. So I don't know if that's residual, and every night at 7 o'clock they say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know that. I mean, I know there is a residual haunt.
Right.
Right outside from the studio, down by that little grocery store where you can make the right turn to go into Saco.
Right.
There is a residual haunt there because I was coming back from the airport one time and I was coming up the road. I remember it was like 10:20. And all of a sudden it was like this car made a turn, went through my car, through me, and I looked in the rearview mirror and it was a woman with brown hair with a flip. The seat was a bench seat from years ago. It wasn't the seats we have now. And it happened like within a split second.
And you've seen it again? Do you see
Yes.
it? Yeah. So it's always the same.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And I don't think about it. I don't think about it when I turn there. I don't think about when I'm not looking at the clock. I'm not trying to catch it.
Right.
But apparently whatever I'm doing at
timing
that
is-
time, the
right.
timing.
Right.
So those things do happen if you're aware. Going back to talk about if you're aware.
If you're aware.
And you're aware now, you hear more, you listen more.
Right. Like I don't record in my house because I don't want to stir that up, because I feel like you can stir stuff up. They're like, oh no, she knows we're here. But I am aware, like everywhere I go. And to be honest, there hasn't been a house that doesn't have something, even though you will get a couple, you know, but there seems like there's always some kind of energy in each house. Even we've gone to brand new houses. I went to a brand new house, brand new development, and my team members were like, no way, there's not going to be anything in there. And right off the bat, it's me and two other women, we said, what do you, the house is beautiful. She goes, wow, you must really love living here. And right away you hear a man say, no. And then when I went home and listened, no, there's no rugs. So we always think that it's going to be bad, like no, they don't like, you know, something's bad, but it's all hardwood floors, there's no rugs. So it makes kind of sense, like, no, there's no rugs. So it's kind of funny. But
Well, see, this is what I don't understand too. The one show, what's it called? Ghost Adventures?
yes,
He drives me nuts.
well, we do not, we're very respectful to spirit.
Yeah. He's not.
No, he antagonizes them. So think of someone like breaking into your house.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he does. He does that, like breaking into the house, gets them all stirred up. And so I almost, most of the time, I feel like they're defending themselves.
I know.
Right, we don't do that. And I think that's why the fourth time we've gone to this other house, that they're actually starting to talk more around us, because we've always been polite and respectful.
Yeah, he started off the show being very gruff, very mean, yelling. He's softened up a bit now, but still,
He has some team members that have attachments that can't be on the show anymore.
I know.
And they're like severely depressed.
Yeah.
So that's scary, because you're kind of messing with someone's, you know, mind, because they, you know, a bad entity, spirit, whatever it is, especially when they're going to places that do satanic worship.
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting yourself in harm's way.
Well, you definitely are. And you know, he now has a museum in Las Vegas where he has taken things like the haunted collector, but he is now taking things, and I forget whose car he's got, whether it's Elvis or Bonnie and Clyde, I don't know what it is. But he does have that there.
I think he also bought the most haunted house.
Yes, he did.
The people that were kind of like possessed inside, I think he bought that house.
Yeah.
It's funny he wants to go that route instead of going towards the, like, the love and light route. I just don't understand. I mean, it makes good TV.
It makes good TV,
right.
but he's not love and light.
No, he's not love and light.
I don't feel it. I don't see it, even though he's trying to be nice. He's not love and light.
Right.
He's
I know.
not great.
I know. I hope he learns. I'm sure he's learning some lessons along the way, so I hope he changes.
I hope he changes.
People like watching him, but maybe it would be nice to see him change his routine a little bit and go a little bit more caring route.
That would be nice to see, but I don't think he can do that. I really don't.
Well, it's TV.
Yeah, it's TV. So tell me, if people here in Maine, Biddeford, Saco, Old Orchard, anywhere here in Maine where you get our show,
Correct.
and you feel you have something going on in your house, what would they do?
Well, they
Call
can
you?
They can call us. They can call another. You got to go reputable paranormal groups too, because you don't just want a bunch of kids in your house either. You want someone that has some experience. But you can call us. We'd love to go.
And your information will be at the end of the
yes,
show.
Right. Call me up, and we get back with you within, gosh, within 12 hours, and we will book it and come. And if you know of any places that you think are haunted and we could go, that's even like a public place, we'd love to go there too.
That's great. So if you feel you have something in your house, your apartment, your garage, on your property, it might just be worth it.
Right, and we can give guidance too, and if it's something we can't handle, we will help you find the people that can handle it.
That's great. One more thing to ask you about. There's another show, Dead Files.
Yes, I've seen that. Which is interesting because it's like a police detective, right?
It's a police detective and a medium. And he's always investigating the house, the grounds, the property, what happened back 200, 300 years ago. She's walking through the house, and they take down all photos, everything that could even lead her to think something else. And then at the end of the show, she has an artist, and she describes what she sees. And sure enough, when they all sit down and they have the reveal, what she sees is somebody they know.
Right.
Or somebody from the past.
Yeah, I think that's really neat.
It really is.
So it's good to have that perspective.
But what do you think with all this paranormal and all these shows coming up in the past 10 years, and they're getting stronger and stronger?
I think there's a huge awakening going on. I think there's a huge, I think people are starting to see the world differently.
I hope so. I mean, I think 60% of these shows are just for TV.
Right.
I don't believe them all.
Right.
But that 40% out there really doing the job and really doing it, it's like all of a sudden.
I wouldn't have believed my EVP if it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
Here I am with team members, and I wouldn't have believed it because I would have thought maybe it was a mix-up on there. But that's mine, and so I wouldn't have believed. I don't think I would have believed that, and that's too bad because. So even me here I have this, so I could understand if someone didn't believe that.
Right. Exactly. But because it was your equipment, it was you doing it,
Right.
and you knew there was no smoke and mirrors. You knew the whole
Right.
thing was just.
I think we don't talk enough about, I was brought up Catholic, we put it in this little kind of bubble, and I live where nuns used to live. And the nuns are like, we're not supposed to believe in this.
Yeah.
But I think that place was haunted. And I thought, of all people, you would think they believe in it because where are we going? So
there's
they've kind of like a
contradiction.
programming of just kind of like, this is the way it is and you have to believe what we say. But I've kind of got outside the box, so I know that there's more to it.
Okay, here's one more question because we're getting short on time, but I have a ton of questions for you.
Sure.
I want you to come back again. Or Gloria wants you to come back again.
Right, and also, I'd love to bring a team member because I do more of the technical stuff,
Yeah.
and she's like the feeler, and she gets different viewpoints.
Oh, we'll definitely do
Yeah.
that. Now that you've been doing this, odd question to ask you. Do you feel a disconnect sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes I really need to get grounded. I can start to disconnect from I always want to look at everyone like they don't see it correctly. But I have to actually do a lot to stay earthbound because I used to be the big skeptic. Now I'm kind of, going outside. So I want to give as much information to people. This is what I tell people. I could talk about this all day long.
Yeah.
And I do think I open people's eyes
Yeah.
to the spirit world. But I do still have to remain skeptical because, I don't want to give false information either.
True, true. So the word disconnect, is that the right word to use for that, would you say?
I think open-minded.
Open-minded,
I've become
okay.
a lot more open-minded.
Okay.
Because before everything is when you're a fact finder, through the court system and through criminal justice, and everything's fact, and now it's all this gray area. It's different.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely is different. I think it should give people a lot to think about. Gloria does her show, and we talk about many, many different things. I'm sure a lot of people out there think it's crazy, but it's just another conversation. It's just another thing. You can think about it or you don't have to think about it.
Right.
But there are a lot of people out there now who want to hear more.
Yes, I think they do. I think they're afraid. I think a lot of people are afraid.
Well,
because they don't want to look, because I always say I'm not crazy. I have to defend myself right away. I'm
You
not
did
crazy.
that
I know.
as soon
I'm
as
not
we
crazy.
met.
And I think a lot of people are open-minded, but they don't say anything because their husband's going to knock them down, their kids, their school. Sometimes they're too young. They have to kind of go with the grain. Now I'm 51. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't care what people think of me. So if they want to think I'm crazy, that's okay.
That's fine. I always say until somebody is paying my rent and
Right.
putting food on my table,
Right.
there you have it.
Exactly.
Well, we're running out of time.
Well, it's so nice to be here.
Carolyn, it's been great. It's been really great talking to you.
Yes, thank you.
You've given us a lot to think about, a lot of food for thought. Your team, anybody can call you.
Oh, yes, definitely call. I actually have a big bumper sticker on the back of my car. And I've
EVP?
gotten a few calls that were probably not, they were just kind of fooling around, but
Yeah.
yeah, so.
But I want to thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm
And
happy to
I
be
want to
here.
thank you for bringing all of this so our audience could see it. I'm like a little kid in a candy shop with all this.
I have so much more too.
Oh my God, I'm sure you do. I'm sure. But I want to thank you
Yes,
again.
thank you. It was
You
really great
know,
to meet
and
you too.
we'll get you back on the show with Gloria.
Oh, that's
and
awesome. And I'll
we'll
bring some
go
team members with me.
bring some team members. So I want to thank everybody out there who relaxed, watched our show. Keep an open mind. You can be a skeptic, that's fine, but it's always good to hear the other side. Gloria thanks you. I thank you. Carolyn thanks you. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.